Good evening. I am Aaliyah Brown and will serve as moderator for the forum this evening. The forum is co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, with the assistance of the City of Laverne staff. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this forum. Tonight we will hear remarks from the candidates for Aldermen in the City of Laverne. Before introducing the candidates, I would like to outline the procedure for this forum. Each candidate will be allowed 2 minutes to make an opening statement. When all candidates have completed their opening statement, the first of several questions will be asked. The candidates have not been told what questions will be asked. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to answer each question. The candidates will have 2 minutes to answer the last question, as well as make closing remarks they wish. I will begin by introducing the candidates. They are seeking election to one of the 2 alderman positions in Laverne. This is an important role to the citizens of Laverne, and we hope to hear them address the substantive issues facing all of us. I want to thank them for their gracious acceptance of our invitation to participate in this event. Sitting on the left and speaking first tonight is Melisa Brown, followed by Jason Cole, Chris Farmer, Sherry Green, and Calvin Jones. Ms. Brown, you may begin with your opening statement.
I've been asked many times what makes me feel like I am qualified to represent Laverne as alderman. The qualifications, according to the Election Commission, are that you must be 18 years of age, a registered voter, citizens of the United States, a resident of Tennessee, and at least a resident of the city of Laverne for a year. I exceed those qualifications because I'm 38 years old and I moved here 30 years ago. My son now goes to the same grade school that I went to whenever I was young. I'm a graduate of Laverne High School, class of 1994, and I have a sense of community that was built with a lifetime. I grew up with this town. I've seen the population grow from 7,500 people to now over 35,000. With that is a lot more people to love and a lot bigger community to build that around. With 20 years of experience as an office manager and a general manager with budgets and financial reports, including college-level accounting classes, cost savings, quality control, federal regulation compliance, and employment law, I do have the experience for this position. I also couple that with work ethics, people skills, and professionalism. There are always common sense solutions to problems, and you don't build a house without first counting the costs. That's why I would like to be Alderman of Laverne.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Mr. Cole.
Thank you. My name is Jason Cole, longtime resident, father, and husband here in Laverne. I'm running to bring a new perspective to the city, and I'm a conservative. I believe as far as living within your means and building for the future. And that's what the city needs to do, is build for the future. I've been attending city workshops and meetings, well, since our previous mayor, Ronnie Irwin. I believe as far as that with new ideas and fresh faces, we can build this city into something that everyone wants and everyone enjoys and loves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Mr. Farmer.
My name's Chris Farmer. I've been on the board for 4 years. I'm seeking re-election. I live in Laverne, work in Laverne. I've spent the last 4 years helping bring retail to Laverne, fixing the infrastructure, just working on getting the city better for the citizens so that it'll be a good city for everybody to live in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Ms. Green.
I've lived here since 1970, and I've been on the board since '96. My concern is the citizens. That's the most important thing we have to deal with, is our people. We have to do things that are best for them, but we also have to do things that we feel we have to for our city, in order to run. I enjoy what I do. I love people, and I'm always happy if I can help someone solve a problem or just help them in any way. So my reason is because I love the city, I love the people, and I want to run again.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Mr. Jones?
Thank you. I would like to express my appreciation to the League of Women Voters for inviting me tonight and having this forum. Tonight, I will address three major concerns of the citizens of Laverne. First, in this city, there are expenses that need to be addressed. I will take a long, hard look at these expenditures and make the argument for their retention, removal, or adjustment as it pertains to the needs and wants of our city. In life, our need supersedes our wants. That is a given. I will not accept the business as usual mentality. With me, there is no status quo. I will consider our wants while addressing the needs of the city of Laverne. Secondly, I will make sure that there is a level of responsibility and accountability within the ranks of the leadership within this city. I expect to be held accountable to the citizens of this city. The department heads, in turn, will be held accountable to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. I will introduce and define a code of ethics for the city, and it will properly be administrated and enforced. I will explicate the code of ethics to ensure responsibility and accountability. Finally, I will introduce what is known as community unity. This is a no-cost program where the employees of the city work together to increase friendly atmosphere within the community. The more people feel they know about you, the better they will be willing to work with you. As a result, the community unity I'm hoping, will minimize the division between elected officials and the citizens. In closing, if chosen to assist in the governing of this wonderful city of Laverne, I will do all I can do to help the city grow in a positive manner. I will be an honest and fair alderman, committed to management of expenses, responsibility and accountability, and community unity. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. We will now turn to our first question. The question will be answered by Mr. Cole. Why are you running for the Laverne City Alderman?
I'm running to give the citizens of Laverne a voice. As this, in any elected official, you're the voice of the people. And this city's reached a crucial point where we're at a crossroads. We have to decide where we're going to go as a city, what we want to be and who we want to be and how we're going to get there. So I'm running to be that voice. As I've said, I'm a conservative. I want to see accountability, and as far as when it comes to our budget, let's make sure that we're managing it in an effective way that doesn't put too much tax burden on our residents. So that's why I'm running.
Thank you. Mr. Farmer?
I'm running because in the last 4 years, we've devoted our time to bringing retail to this city, making the city safe for the residents, cleaning it up, getting rid of the stigma that Laverne is not a good town. And I want to spend the next 4 years finishing up the things we've started so that we'll have retail here to pay for the things that we need in this city. And there won't ever have to be another tax increase like we had to do when we were first elected.
Thank you. Ms. Green?
I'm running again because, like I said before, I love the city, I like the people, and I'd like to see us continue on doing well. I think we've done really good for the last few years, and I hope we can continue on for the people, for the city. And hopefully things seem to be doing well now, so maybe we won't have to put any more burdens on the people. And I am willing to be here for any of them or anybody that needs me to help.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
As chairman of the Planning Commission, I've seen Laverne grow. I've seen it go in a good direction. I feel that I'm all about advancement, and I feel that I've come to a stage in my life that I want to be able to do a little bit more on the legislative part for the city. And I have a lot of ideas that I feel that I can bring forth for the city to help better it.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
I'm running for alderman because I believe that this city needs a more conservative way of addressing its budget. We were told that the city was completely broke in 2010, and then I have heard so many people point out various ways that our money was spent. People are concerned that we're going to have to raise taxes again if we continue spending at the rate that we're spending. And I feel like they have a valid concern. And because I share their concern and we needed a voice, that's why I decided to run for alderman.
Thank you. We will now start with our second question, starting with Mr. Farmer. If elected, what 2 to 3 things will you work to accomplish during your term in office?
During my next term, I want to keep the citizens safe, make this a good place for everybody to live. I want to bring more businesses to Laverne so we can have the things that the people don't have to go to Smyrna or anywhere else to get. They don't have to shop. They can stay here in Laverne and shop. And hopefully keep water bills from going up anymore, work with that, and get our water billing issues addressed in the next 4 years.
Thank you. Ms. Green.
Okay. I would work to help the people be able to enjoy this, where they live, and be able to take care of all their bills and everything. And I think we've done a really good job at trying to bring in more business, and I know that we're going to have a lot happen to us shortly. So that's going to be great for the city, for the people. So I'm just hoping for everybody to be able to live comfortably, be able to do the things they need to do for themselves.
Thank you. Mr. Jones.
As previously stated, my 3 main goals would be to help with the expenditures, to make sure that the money that's being spent is being spent properly and effectively and efficiently. The next would be the accountability and responsibility. I believe everyone should be responsible, and by saying that, I mean everyone should be held accountable for what they do and their actions. Also, I feel that, again, community unity would be one of the first things that I would like, one of the major things that I would like to initiate, because as I've stated before, a city that can work with its citizenry has a much better chance of advancing along every line. If you love your city, then you're going to go above and beyond to do what you need to do for your city. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown.
Some of my goals would include revisiting the Laverne Rescue Unit. They have provided service to our city voluntarily at a minimum budget price for 40 years. 35 volunteers dedicated their time and volunteered to help us. And with us needing more support in the emergency services area, I don't think that that was a very good cut to make. They are trained in extrication, water rescues. They have the jaws of life. They've already been trained on the emergency services that our fire department is now going through to learn. You can't replace 40 years of experience with a class. That's a terrible budgetary decision, and it only costs $45,000 a year. So that is one of the things that I would be focusing on. The other thing would be on the budget, getting our spending under control, because the problem in Laverne is spending. We're spending way too much money.
Thank you. Mr. Cole.
First, I would want to be a good steward of our tax dollars, and that's whether it's spending or setting fees and taxes. We need to make sure that we do this in an effective way. Secondly is working on having well-researched issues when it comes to ordinances, making sure we're doing the due diligence on researching each one, how they affect the city, and listening to the public and what their concerns are on each of these issues. The third would be as far as working to make this city the most business-friendly it could be, and that's to build and grow retail and industrial throughout the city so that we have more opportunities for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. For our third question, we will start with Ms. Green. What is your vision for Laverne in the next 5 to 10 years?
The next 5 to 10 years, we have one thing that's coming in, and I think everybody knows that. It's a great thing. Walmart And that's one thing that I have, not just me, but I have worked along with the others for quite some time for us to do this. And my vision would be to see our police department be able to have enough cars to take care of everybody. Not only that, as Ms. Brown said, our rescue squad is a great thing, and I would like to see, and our fire department is great, and I'm just happy to see that all of that is going good, and I hope it continues.
Thank you. Mr. Jones.
In the next 5 to 10 years, I would love to see, as Ms. Green stated, I'd love to see the police department grow to full capacity. I would love to see the retention level of all city employees increase, or the longevity, have longevity within the city. I would love to see the businesses to come into our areas. As far as the our streets, our street improvements, overall expenditures capped and gotten under control. And I would love to see the city work better with the citizenry, along with employees and the city officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown.
I want to see our residents have board members that they can feel comfortable approaching to talk to them about issues without feeling like they will be yelled at in the office or made fun of online. I've heard a lot of people say that they have come to the city hall with problems and have been addressed in a rude manner. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable for an elected official not to represent their residents. So what my goal would be is to be a person that is approachable, someone that can work with the other board members to come up with a plan that is feasible for everyone, and also for definitely have a focus on not wasting the money that our taxpayers work so hard to earn.
Thank you. Mr. Cole.
In 10 years, I would love to see the city still addressing roads and sidewalks, as those are the veins throughout our city. I'd love to see, as far as a senior citizen center that is large enough for all of our senior citizens. Right now, ours is bustling at the seams. A community center for the children. That way they have a place to go versus the streets at night or in the afternoons after school. I would love to see our police and our fire department staffed up to their capacity, what they're supposed to be, to provide adequate, proper services to everyone. And then I would love to see, as far as retail, bookend on both sides of the city and brought together so that this city is prosperous and growing. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Farmer.
In the next 5 years, I'd like to see the city be somewhere that everybody wants to move, not just to come stay in and leave for the rest of the time. I feel like our emergency services, they're all in line. They're headed down the way they need to go. I want to finish paving the streets. We've paved more streets in the last few years than have been paved in 10 years. I want to get our water lines finished. I just want to make this a city that people can come and live and work and shop in, not just come and live in and have to leave to do everything else.
Thank you. For our fourth and final question, we'll start with Mr. Jones. Please remember that you have time to make last-minute remarks. How will you encourage constituent input?
I would definitely encourage constituent input by, first of all, giving them a avenue in order for communication. I would make sure that every call, every issue is addressed. I will make sure that the individual feel that they were answered appropriately and to the satisfaction of that individual, if that's possible. Mainly, regardless if the individual walks away happy or not. I have a 15-year-old daughter, so I know that no matter what you do, some people are not going to be pleased. And that's not to compare anyone with a 15-year-old child, but it's a good starter to realize just what you got to work with. I know that individuals like to hear what they want to hear. They come to their government officials and they come to them with a problem and they think that their problem is the only problem. I will try to make it a point that out of having 34,000 individuals, sometimes yours is not going to be the priority. But I will make them feel that their questions will be addressed and their issues will be, their questions and their issues will be addressed. And hopefully I can do it in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
I think that voter interest and getting the input of our residents really falls upon listening when they do call, asking them questions when you meet them in the course of your life. As you go about the community, you're surrounded by people that are your neighbors. So this city needs to come together and listen to the people that are trying to speak to us. There's a lot of people in this town that have many skills. And sometimes they have a better way of doing things than the way that we think we should do them. Sometimes all you have to do is just be willing to listen and hear them out. And you'll find that they'll, over time, develop a relationship with you where they come to you to tell you things that you can use to help you do your job better. So listening to the constituents is exactly what you're hired to do if you're elected to be alderman. That is exactly what your position entails.
Thank you.
Would you repeat the question?
Once again, the question is, how will you encourage constituent input?
Okay, the way I would encourage constituent input is, number one, being the most available, whether it be by phone, email, snail mail, social media, being out there and engaged in the community. Going out, door knocking for the last few weeks and meeting our residents, you hear those concerns. And so being out there and listening to what people say and what their concerns are, we have to do. We have to keep doing. We can't just rely on everyone coming to us. We have to go to them at times and get their input on the issues. So that's how I would do it. I would like, in closing, to say I would like to be your voice here in Laverne as alderman. I would like to count your voice and your vote October 15th through the 30th with early voting and November 4th on Election Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Farmer?
I would encourage people to call their elected officials or come to city council meetings. That's the problem I've seen in 4 years is you hear a lot of rumors, but people don't want to come and talk to anybody. They just want to talk outside, and you're going to have to come and speak with us or email all your aldermen, because a lot of times one alderman gets one complaint and nobody ever hears about it. So people are going to have to, we're going to have to get them more engaged with us because they don't connect with us. They don't come to the meetings. I don't know if they feel like they can't call, but every time I get a call or an email, it's addressed. I've always addressed them. I've talked to the people. You can't please everybody, but you can't have a city budget that's based on a household budget. It's much bigger than that. And I'd just like to see the citizens get more involved with the community, with us. We're out there for you, but you've got to contact us. I can't contact every citizen in town. And I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for having us, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Ms. Green?
I would like for all the citizens to know that they are welcome at City Hall anytime. And I know that they call because I get calls all the time, and I'm always glad to get the calls and do whatever I can to help. And I think it's just a great thing if we do show a lot of care and concern for our citizens. And I hope that I can always be ready and willing if anybody needs me for anything. And I would appreciate anyone's vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, on behalf of the League of Women Voters, Cable Commission, and City of Laverne staff, I want to thank all of the candidates for their participation tonight. I want to recognize the staff of Local Access Channel 3, operated by Laverne, for their cooperation in presenting this program. I also want to remind all citizens to go to the polls for early voting beginning October 15th or on Election Day, November 4th, to exercise this important right to determine who represents them as well in the other important positions being voted on. May we close with a round of applause for the candidates.